Ahalya, Draupadi, Kunti, Tara, Mandodari Tatha, Panchakanya Smare Nityam, Mahapataka Nashanam. This is a Sanskrit shloka which is available in Hindu scriptures, and this shloka glorifies these 5 women characters from Ramayana and Mahabharata as the epitomes of womanhood. Today is 8th March, a day dedicated to womanhood, and I greet all my viewers on this occasion. Hello, I am Pradipta and this is my channel Pradipta's Musings, where I communicate with all of you irrespective of any bias. Today's theme of Women's Day is Break the Bias. That's why I evoked the topic of breaking the bias, to go beyond all bias. And this is what is taught by this shloka, which glorifies these 5 women mythological characters from Ramayana and Mahabharata who broke all the bias around gender by living exemplary lives, which proves that womanhood is about creating burning examples of penance, grit, determination, courage, and facing all the adversities of life and being extraordinary. The 5 Kanyas mentioned in this shloka are Ahalya, Draupadi, Kunti, Tara and Mandodari. Ahalya, Tara and Mandodari, these 3 characters are from Ramayana, and Draupadi and Kunti we all know from Mahabharata. In some shlokas we find Sita instead of Kunti. Sita is another character from Ramayana and she is the principal character of Ramayana, the consort, the wife of Lord Rama. But here I will take Kunti only, because the original shloka seems to mention Kunti. The foremost amongst the Panchakanyas is Ahalya. Ahalya was the wife of Gautama Rishi, and she was violated by Indra, the king of gods. And it has been described in Valmiki Ramayana that it might be out of curiosity that she got involved with Indra, or it might be so that she was tricked into the act by Indra, the king of gods. But whatever it is, after Ahalya was violated by Indra, she took up a life of great penance, and she was totally away from human sight and continued her penance in a very secluded way, staying in an ashrama. Poetically, it has been described that she had turned into a stone, or she was turned into a dry stream. But whatever it is, the fact is that she was undergoing a life of great austerities and penance until she was liberated by Lord Rama, who is also known as Patit Pavana. Ahalya proves that a woman, if violated or harassed or molested in any way, her chastity is not broken or she is not tainted for life. She should not be ostracized. Through great penance, through austerities, Ahalya lived an exemplary, extraordinary life, and ultimately she surrendered to her chosen deity, Lord Rama, got liberated, and she became immortal as an epitome of womanhood. Now let's talk about the second of the Panchakanyas, Draupadi. Draupadi is Pancha Pandava's wife, as mentioned about in Mahabharata. She was a fiery woman, a great woman of substance with lot of courage and conviction in her womanhood. She never took for granted any insult on her womanhood, and it was because of insult to Draupadi's womanhood the great war of Mahabharata was initiated. Draupadi was a woman of great wisdom and she took great pride and honor in being a woman. So she is revered as one of the Panchakanyas. The third name is that of Kunti. Kunti is the great matriarch of Mahabharata who raised her 5 sons, received as blessings from several gods, not from her own husband. And after the death of her husband, she raised on her own all these 5 sons. Being a very intelligent woman, she had secured the blessing of a mantra from sage Durvasa that she can invoke any god and get as blessings sons from her chosen gods. It really amazes me to see such great wisdom of Kunti that she could even please a very fiery sage like Durvasa, and that too at a tender age. Through her curiosity of testing the mantra to beget a son from the sun god, the name of this son is Karna, and Kunti became an unwed mother at a very tender age by testing this mantra. Her curiosity in testing the mantra proves breaking all bias of gender. Being curious is not a sin, and Kunti tested the mantra. She got Karna as a blessing from the sun god, but she had to abandon that son due to society pressures. Kunti always proved her presence of mind, her wisdom, her courage, determination, and she has proved to be an epitome of womanhood by standing always firmly with her conviction and creating an indelible mark in the history of Mahabharata. Now let's come to Tara. Tara is the wife of King Bali of Kishkindhya, who was the brother of Sugriva, who was blessed by Lord Rama. King Bali was very much infamous for his atrocities, but his wife Tara was a very wise woman, and she tried to dissuade her husband from all his vile acts. She even tried to make her husband understand the futility of fighting against Sugriva, as because Tara knew that Sugriva is being backed by Lord Rama in the war. When Bali tried to exert force on Ruma, the wife of Sugriva, he was confronted by his wife Tara. Tara was a very diplomatic and very wise woman. After the death of Bali, when she married Sugriva, Sugriva relied a lot on her and used to take advice in every diplomatic matter regarding the kingdom. Sugriva had once sent Tara to pacify an enraged Lakshmana, and Tara managed to calm down Lakshmana through her great diplomacy and wisdom. So Tara is also a great woman of substance who is revered as one of the Panchakanyas and is an epitome of womanhood. The last of the Panchakanyas is Mandodari. Mandodari was the queen of King Ravana of Lanka, and Mandodari was such a strong woman that she confronted her very powerful husband against all the vile deeds he was doing, like abduction of Sita. She had the courage to speak her mind against Ravana. Mandodari was very courageous, and she was not docile, meek and timid, and she had the courage to confront her husband against all the evil deeds performed by him. Mandodari was a very pious woman, but in spite of that fact that she was very devoted to her husband, she didn't hesitate to provide Hanuman with Brahmastra to kill Ravana. She always stood by the side of righteousness and virtue. This is what creates a difference, and Mandodari is revered as one of the Panchakanyas, remembering whom all the sins are washed away. Today on Women's Day, I have mentioned about the exemplary lives of these 5 Kanyas of Hindu mythology, because they are great examples of womanhood beyond any bias, beyond any gender discrimination, and they all lived exemplary lives, standing tall in their own conviction, great courage, determination, and we all women should follow their path, their examples. And why only women? I think every human being should hold them in very high reverence and take their instances as persons who raised themselves against all bias. So on Women's Day today, I also join the mission breaking all the bias. Let's break the bias on today, Women's Day, every day, and all the years ahead. Thank you for watching.